Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
We talk about going back to school. How about Vax to School? It's a new program the governor is launching to vaccinate students who are 12 and older and want the shot. Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst has the details.
Good evening, Ann. Governor Hochul continues to urge parents to get their kids vaccinated and is launching new websites and mobile clinics to bump up that vaccination rate.
We have to do better, my friends. So we are announcing what we're calling Vax to School.
Governor Hochul is launching a new campaign to get more kids vaccinated against COVID. As many school districts approach the end of their first week, only 50% of all New York's eligible kids have completed their vaccine series.
If you want to make sure your children are safe, as they're going out, not just in the classroom, but they're out there playing sports, and they're out in the community, and they're socializing with their friends, only 50% is not where it needs to be.
The campaign started with the state launching a brand new website to educate parents about the COVID vaccine. New York is also providing vaccine information on Instagram. Resources will also be available for schools to host Vax to School events, which include bringing a mobile vaccine clinic to districts with low vaccination rates.
It's just all about prioritizing the health of our teachers, our administrators, and our children, so we get that sense of security that parents will need when they say goodbye to their child and send them off to school.
To date, only 37% of 12 to 15-year-olds in the southern tier are fully vaccinated. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Corning's Gaffer District will be welcoming back residents to its annual Harvest Festival next weekend. Residents can gather on Market Street for a variety of fall-themed activities, contests, and live music. Residents can also check out the fall offerings from local Corning businesses. Colleen Fabrizi with the Gaffer District says the event is a great way to kick off the fall season.
If you're looking for a place to go in an outdoor setting where you can enjoy great food, great music, activities for the kids, this is definitely the weekend and the place you want to be.
Harvest kicks off on Market Street next Friday and runs through the weekend. There's a lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccine and boosters, but top U.S. health officials are urging Americans not to forget about the flu vaccine. Mandy Gaither has details on why you need to think about the flu now.
As COVID-19 cases continue to climb, many hospitals are busting at the seams.
We are having to prepare ourselves for having yet again another surge after the Labor Day holiday, and by the way, after kids going to school.
Another reason to be concerned about the flu. Each year, influenza causes millions to be sick, hundreds of thousands to be hospitalized, and tens of thousands of deaths. But in 2020, the U.S. saw an extremely low number of flu cases.
Last year, I think we had one case total at our hospital.
Dr. Eric Adkins with Ohio State Wexner Medical Center says the low number of cases was likely due to public health measures like mask wearing and physical distancing. But this year, many are unmasking. Adkins says getting a flu shot is one of the best ways to protect yourself.
Don't let having 1 year of low influenza cases make you feel comfortable without getting the vaccine.
And the time to think about getting a flu shot is now. The CDC recommends getting the influenza vaccine by the end of October. The agency says people can be vaccinated from both flu and COVID-19 at the same time because you can also catch both viruses.
They're going to be more likely to require hospitalization and may even need an ICU level of care, potentially with a ventilator.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Right now, more than 12 million people are facing new flood threats in areas already devastated by Hurricane Ida. John Lawrence has more.
I can't even believe that we're talking about this, but here goes.
A new threat for areas already hard hit by the remnants of Hurricane Ida in the Northeast.
We are at risk for some severe storms this evening, which could bring wind gusts and downpours into areas that need neither.
Millions are facing flash flood watches in New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. The first storms since Ida devastated parts of the Northeast are now forecast to strike Wednesday into Thursday.
Obviously, we're concerned about folks who are hit that any new water could be a problem, and we're also concerned that we could see more than is projected.
The National Weather Service warning it will not take much rainfall to cause flash flooding of urban, flood-prone, and other low-lying areas.
We have very saturated grounds in the state right now. So vegetation, trees, foundations, everything is more likely to be easily moved.
The storm is also threatening to spawn tornadoes, damaging winds, and severe hail from Virginia to Vermont.
Please take it safe as these storms progress. If your phone goes off with a flash flood or tornado warning, please take it seriously.
I don't ever want to witness what I saw in the streets of New York when we had to deal with the ravages of a cataclysmic flooding event, which happened once, it happened 10 days later, and for all we know, it could happen again 10 days from now.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The Labor Department is reporting that last week, 310,000 Americans filed for jobless benefits. Now that is a new pandemic-era low. The dip last week for unemployment benefits goes hand in hand with the expiration of the Enhanced Unemployment Benefit Program. This also means there's no more emergency aid for the 12 million Americans who are still unemployed. In addition to the jobless claims numbers, a little over 96,000 people filed claims under the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. This provides benefits for people not eligible for regular state aid, such as people who are self-employed. The effects of the pandemic persist. The U.S. is still 5 million jobs below February 2020 levels. The Biden administration has a message for 11 Trump-appointed officials. Resign from your position or be dismissed. Former President Donald Trump appointed some of his closest allies to serve on Military Service Academy advisory boards before he left office. For example, former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer currently serves on the advisory board of the Naval Academy. Former senior counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, is on the Air Force Academy advisory board. And former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster sits on the West Point board. Board members give advice and recommendations to the current president. The White House says the Trump appointees must either leave on their own or be fired. Several Trump appointees have signaled, though, they will not resign. At least one has suggested they plan to file a lawsuit to stay on the board. A nonprofit organization is working with the Department of Defense to bring much-needed supplies for Afghan evacuees at Camp Atterbury. Mike Sullivan reports.
Between the boxing and the sorting, the reality can get lost. These items are essentially
they have pretty much what they left with.
The start of a new life.
They've left their country, and for all intents and purposes, they'll never go back.
The Team Rubicon organization is working with the Department of Defense, coordinating donations for Afghanistan refugee sites in the country.
We've been here over about a week now.
With Russell Hessler and part of his team sleeping here, making daily trips to nearby Camp Atterbury.
You feel for them, but you also have great hope.
While donations continue to arrive, baby diapers and formula remain major needs.
The first couple days on the base, when I was driving around, we saw a lot of idleness, let's say, and the kids not having stuff to do.
That's when toys began coming in, especially balls. Those are a welcome sight.
We can't allow objects that might harm someone else, so baseball bats are not something we can take.
At times, refugees are left with just their cell phones to pass the time, turning charging capabilities into an unexpected necessity.
Not so much the cables themselves, it's the plug-in block.
Michael Martell is an operations associate with Team Rubicon.
The next step is to start getting them, 2 days worth of clothes.
Particularly new ones. Used clothes will not be accepted and should be taken to the Salvation Army or Goodwill to reach refugees.
Mainly because of COVID concerns.
They also ask for clothing without labels.
If you're giving things out and you give somebody a higher end brand name, it could create issues if somebody gets something that's not.
The idea is to disperse items evenly, giving these refugees a fresh start.
Still ahead tonight, we'll check in with weather for a look at what's in store for us as we head into the end of the week.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Attar. Good evening, everyone. A cold front that pushed through our area is now moving to the east. There is a little bit of moisture still remaining on the backside of it. As you can see, just showers and thunderstorms have been popping up. So we still have the possibility of a stray shower or two heading into the overnight. But those temperatures will be quite cool, dropping down into the 50s overnight, 54 degrees at 6 o'clock in the morning with some cloud cover. But you'll notice this, as we head into the weekend, our dew points will be climbing back into the 60s on Sunday. So it is going to get a little bit more sticky as we head toward the end of the weekend. This is due to south winds returning, and they will return in a big way on Saturday and Sunday as that breeze comes through. But out ahead of that, on your Friday, it will be seasonably cool. We are expecting high pressure to build in, and that will send those north winds in. And by the afternoon on Friday, it will become a little bit breezy as we are stuck in between two systems, a low pressure system that is exiting the country and that high pressure system that is building into the Twin Tiers. So here's a look at your planner for your Friday. We start off in the 50s at 7 o'clock and then warm up to around 66 degrees at 11. Patchy clouds during the day. It will turn gusty by the afternoon with readings in the upper 60s. So temperature wise, we will be a good 10 degrees cooler than normal. So let's take a look at our future radar where we're finding a few showers and thunderstorms up to our north that might slide in the overnight. As you can see, around midnight, our models are indicating there could be a little bit of rain from Hornell to Bath to Corning and also into Elmira, and then a few thunderstorms marching in after midnight through about 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and then we should start to dry out by the afternoon. So here's a look at your forecast. Tonight we drop down to around 54 degrees in Elmira, Corning around 56, and 57 degrees in Watkins Glen. A little bit warmer, of course, in the afternoon in Watkins Glen and in Elmira, but 67 degrees in Bath and also in Perkinsville, around 69 degrees for Corning. A perfect day, but again, it will get pretty gusty in the afternoon. We are expecting a warming trend through the weekend. Lots of sunshine on Sunday. Highs will be around 83 degrees, and you may have noticed we'll drop down into the 40s on Saturday morning, so it's going to be a cold morning, but then as moisture starts to increase, as those south winds really kick up on Saturday, that will allow for a little bit more humid air to enter into the Twin Tiers, and so our overnight lows will start to climb up. As we head into early next week, though, we have another cold front coming in. Temperatures out ahead of that front will be in the 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we drop back down into the 70s by Thursday. Highs around 75 degrees with partly cloudy skies and the possibility of a few showers.
A Florida woman says it was a small daily gesture by her husband that kept her fighting to stay alive in the ICU. A report now from Claire Metz.
It is the most terrifying thing you will ever experience in your life. Just laying there, not being able to take a breath.
I could see the fear in her face. I said, all right, put your shoes on, we're going.
Donna and Gary Crane say days after Donna contracted COVID in mid-August, the virus made her so ill she had to be hospitalized for acute respiratory failure.
That was the last I saw her for 10 days.
I couldn't see him, and that was the hardest part, is not being able to have somebody there.
As Donna lay in ICU, she said staff was amazing, caring for her. But there were frightening moments.
You would lay there in bed at night and you would hear code after code after code being called. And you just wondered, what's going to happen.
To ease her fears, to show Donna she was not alone, Gary, a lieutenant with Marion County Fire Rescue, showed up every morning in the hospital parking lot before he went to work, holding big block letters that say, I love you, every day for 10 days.
I just wanted her to know that, because I know she was going to be scared and I couldn't be there with her. And I just wanted her to know that I'm there.
The nurses would sit me up in the bed, let me look out the window so I could see he was there at 8 a.m. And I knew, okay, we're gonna do this.
Though she's out of the hospital, Donna's aware the road to complete recovery will be a long one. She's just grateful she survived, because the couple has much to look forward to.
I just found out my daughter is expecting we're going to be grandparents, and that went through my mind. I want to hold my baby.
More college-aged adults are using marijuana. That's according to a study by the National Institute of Health's National Institute on Drug Abuse. The study found that over the past 5 years, there has been a rise in college students using pot. Using the drug was also at historically high levels in 2020 among people who are the same age but not in college. This represents the highest levels of marijuana use recorded since the 1980s. 2 seniors are recovering thanks to 5 heroes who pulled them out of a burning car, and the rescue near San Diego was actually caught on video. Heather Hope talked with the Good Samaritans.
It happened so fast, we just reacted immediately.
5 East County men jumped into action after seeing a car on fire yesterday just before 4:30 in the westbound lanes of Interstate 8 before the exit for Lake Jennings Park Road.
Oh my God, somebody's in there.
Witness Marie McCrory shot the cell phone video of the car fire as 5 men who were on the opposite side of the 8 freeway parked in the median and rushed to help.
Ran over there, a couple of guys grabbed the wife and the other 2 grabbed the husband who was driving.
The Good Samaritans are all from the East County Transitional Living Center.
We just saw this guy and he's stuck in his seatbelt, so we kind of snatched open the door and unbuckled the seatbelt, and my buddy Barry snatched him out of the car.
The 5th Good Samaritan, Barry, is in the hospital with a burned arm after helping to pull a couple from their burning Toyota.
Even we didn't even realize there was somebody in the passenger seat. That's how much smoke was in the car. But
none are more grateful than sons Steve and Mark Williamson that their parents were rescued and now recovering at UCSD Medical Center.
Our dad had some burns to his left side. My mom got out with just abrasions.
Ken and Joan Williamson, 92 and 90 years old, were vacationing in San Diego from Phoenix for Labor Day, their sons say, when their car somehow was hit from behind and caught on fire unbeknownst to them.
Everyone that saw that video knows that if those people did not pull them out, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. So I can't thank them enough.
I'm glad they're okay. I'm glad God took care of them, and hopefully they do okay.
If you ask the Good Samaritans why they did the rescue.
There was a time when, like so many, we would have kept driving, but because of programs like ECTLC, I'm changing. And in that change now we're able to not just be selfish individuals, but look out for others.
The smallest nation in Central America is taking on a massive cryptocurrency gamble. El Salvador is now the first country in the world to make Bitcoin one of its national currencies, and experts say more countries may follow. Jen Sullivan has our report today.
Bitcoin, now a national currency in El Salvador. The small country is hoping to launch a massive financial revolution with the potential to reshape the world economy.
They are providing a new opportunity here, and no one wants to miss out on the next internet.
Vamos a empezar. While the country's president says cryptocurrency is a path towards financial freedom, critics and some experts are concerned about the potential risks the radical experiment could create. However, for people living in El Salvador's beach town of El Zonte, Bitcoin has been used for the last several years, and one local business owner says Bitcoin creates more opportunities than dangers.
Bitcoin will bring these opportunities to young people so they don't feel like they have to go to the United States in order to feed their family.
Experts agree that El Salvador's move adds legitimacy to Bitcoin. But where does the U.S. stand on crypto?
The Fed is going to release a paper on the central bank digital currency, which will really kind of, I think, outline, where they see the Fed going with a possible digital dollar.
Experts say other countries in South America and in Africa may be quicker to embrace Bitcoin because of runaway inflation and their currencies constantly being devalued.
But I think they're going to probably wait to see this become a little bit more successful because the rollout was a little bit disappointing.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Taco Bell wants to recycle your used sauce packets and refill them. The fast food chain is teaming up with a recycling company called TerraCycle for the new program. Here's how it would work. Customers collect their empty sauce packets, then you can recycle them by mailing the empties back to be refilled. Taco Bell says its goal? To save 8 billion pounds of used sauce packets from going into U.S. landfills every year. If you're a Hulu subscriber, here's something for you. Hulu is raising prices for its 2 on-demand streaming services by $1 beginning October 8th. Hulu, without ads, will rise from $11.99 to $12.99 a month. And the service with commercials will go up from $5.99 to $6.99. Prices will stay the same for Hulu Plus Live TV and its Disney streaming bundle. A very special reunion that one woman from Maryland did not think would happen. Abby Isaacs shows us how a stolen dog traveled hundreds of miles on its journey home.
The dog Nigel was found in this alley in Dundalk, hundreds of miles away from his home. But in just a few days, he was back with his family, all because a community came together.
They got him home to me. And as you see, he has not left my side.
It took an entire community working together to make this reunion possible.
Yeah.
Nigel was found roaming a Dundalk alley on September 1st. Community rescuer Leah Bittinger used her handheld scanner to check him for a microchip and got a match. But the catch, the owner lived in North Carolina. Sheila Salazar said Nigel was stolen from her Fayetteville neighborhood a few days prior.
Then that's when, it was kind of like, okay, what do we do?
Nigel stayed at Doggy Styles in Essex while they reached out to Amelia Air, an organization that saves animals from high-kill shelters and flies them to rescues who can find them homes.
They get animals out of bad situations back into good situations. They are an amazing organization.
2 Virginia pilots volunteered to fly Nigel home, and Sunday he made the trip. First class, of course.
It was good to see him go home. He was happy. He snuggled in my lap the whole flight.
Salazar, who just adopted Nigel from a shelter in May, was extremely grateful, especially because it's not the first dog that's been stolen from her, but it's the first happy ending.
To fight with me and help me get him home, I'm grateful. Yeah, no words can even.
Knowing that the rescue community was able to come together and make this happen it's overwhelming. I'm still, in awe of what happened.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will be an in-person event this year. Macy's made the official call Wednesday. Last year, the parade was a TV-only event, limited to performances with no giant balloons or festive floats. Participants this year will be required to show proof of vaccination and to wear a mask. The 95th annual parade will kick off Thanksgiving morning in New York City. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and have a great night.